Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. So happy to have you all. Hello, Kaylin. As is tradition, we are going to be doing round the table introductions before a brief session recap, and we jump back into the action. My name is Obsidia. I'm the DM of this campaign, Nexus, Forlorn Legacy. And without further ado, here is Peculiar Little Rabbit.
Hello, everyone. My name is Beatrix, or B. I am a taxidermy jackalope VTuber powered by love and slightly mad science. I do variety streams, generally focused on roguelikes, digital artwork, and RPGs. So if those interest you, then swing by sometime if you like. I am currently running a Wild West alt history horror game set in the system and the setting of Deadlands, with Obsidia here as one of the players. So if you'd like to see her play a unhinged inbred occultist, then check it out sometime. More importantly for tonight, though, I'm going to be playing as Feng-chen, the hobgoblin artificer of the party and apparently future bomb enthusiast.
And now the federal government is subpoenaing this game. Thank you, B. Next up, we have Meris.
Hello, I'm Meris Aurum. I am a Celestial Dragon VTuber. I specialize in storytelling reading streams where we talk about all things books and literature and media literacy. I also run my own D&D campaign on the side called The Trial of Hearts. It is an ode to all things romantic fantasy. So if you like drama and shenanigans galore and a touch of political intrigue and lots of smooching the homies, definitely check it out. But while I am here, we toss all those brain cells right in the bin because I am playing Soleil, the party's tiefling, hot pink fae, werewolf, himbo, absolute by disaster. But yeah, happy to be here and make more mistakes as him.
You know, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about it as you were saying that, but like, despite you saying and throwing away all of his brain cells, Soleil is usually one of the most grounded, like, people in the party for giving advice and stuff.
That's so unfortunate.
Well, when your contrapoint is Nafisa, you know, the most hope-pilled. Thank you, Meris. Next up, we got Sif.
Oh, that's me. I was the girl she mentioned. Hi. I mean, I'm the guy. I mean, hi. I'm
You want to try again, Sif?
Hi, I'm a Sif underscore VTuber, living suit of armor. I do art, I do games, and I am here back again as Nafisa, silly little ranger girl with her little stone dragon horse dog. Don't worry about it. I'm very happy to be back again. Very happy to be here. I love you guys.
Thank you, Sif. And then last but not least, we have Lily.
Hello everyone, my name is Lily. I am an artist that draws a lot of D&D stuff, including the lovely Aurora that I am playing this very evening. As for myself, beyond that, I also run my own D&D game, Mistwalker Spectrum of Eternity. All 17, I think we're up to 17 episodes, are on my YouTube. And yeah, if you like gay times in a post-apocalyptic world, then yeah, that's what we do there. But yeah, I'm excited to be here, excited to play some more Aurora.
Awesome. Thank you, Lily. So previously on Nexus Forlorn Legacy, our plucky group of heroes are in the war-torn city of Signoviste, in the Federal Republic of Tyrol, specifically the Republic of Skiar. They have been involved in a gang war by Soleil, who has roped them into his service for the local mob boss, Lazlo Kovac, who is in charge of the Shrouded Assembly faction, as he is in a bitter war against 3 other factions that are all being marginally supported by evil megacorporation, the Nexite Consortium, otherwise known as NexCore, working in tandem with a local bishop of the Tetrarchic faith. In their first day within the city, Nafisa began to discuss the nature of morality with everybody's favorite silly little dragon boy, Lunas, and Ludus quickly explaining why killing bad guys is in fact the right call, and Nafisa saying maybe we don't kill people and give them a chance of redemption, and him finding that to be absolutely ridiculous. Next, we had Feng begin exploring potential schemes for undermining the other factions, including the use of explosives. Soleil decided to go hit the streets with Ludus to go do some vigilante justice, which Ludus took a little too far. He came out the gate swinging as they attacked a group of Vanyaskin gangsters who were roughhousing somebody who was later revealed to be a member of the criminal group known as the Midnight Marauders, which they then promptly also beat up on their own. Aurora went to go explore the refugee communities of Eryxians who are currently somewhat in quote-unquote possession by the Midnight Marauders, where their refugee camps were basically destroyed and they've been corralled into the western part of the city. They shared intelligence about the Marauder leader, Colonel Jose Vasquez, and some of his eccentricities, as well as some of the comments about his forces, as well as they also shared some insights about what it's like to be in the UFAS, even as refugees, versus what life was like under the brutal arcane casting tyrants of the region of Eryxia, which gave Aurora a whole lot to think about. They then returned to the apartment safe house that they are staying in, and had a girls' night where they gossiped about how Soleil is a filthy man whore. And Soleil decided to peace out to go hang out with his former flame and go have dinner with the gang lord himself, Lazlo. And they talked about romance and relationships and kind of the struggles. And they also got to see Ludus curl up into a little ball with his pet mimic that turned into a blanket he put over his trusty goblin MILF. And with that, we begin our session with none other than Soleil making the journey to go see Lazlo at his restaurant. Ludus, Soleil.
Yes.
I'm so Ludus coded right now. Soleil, is there anything you want to do or notice along the way to the Zarkanikos, otherwise known as the Dragon's Lair, Lazlo's restaurant / base of operations?
I don't think he'd be searching for anything particular, but just knowing how precarious things are, I think his usually casual stroll would not be quite so casual. His eyes are just generally peeled for, gang war stuff.
Gotcha. Thankfully, in the heart of Lazlo's territory, things are comparatively calm and safe. You do, as you're proceeding, of course, the local gang patrols, give you the nod. There is a great deal of ambient respect you've accumulated from these people from your time working for Lazlo previously. And you also notice a lot of the civilians here recognize you because you're incredibly distinctive looking, and know that, kind of your familiarity with Lazlo and your ops and stuff. So people are generally friendly towards you and your role within the region. As you get closer to Lazlo's restaurant, make a perception check. Perception or survival.
Oh boy.
Either are valid.
See here. As I pull up my sheet. 22.
All right. As you're walking along, you hear a high-pitched screech of what sounds like probably some kind of rodent. And you hear some like trash cans and debris and stuff kind of tumble over, coming from an alleyway to your left.
I have to assume it's probably nothing, just like scavenging critters, but it's loud enough that it caught his attention, so he'll kind of stick around at the end. He won't go in the alley, but he'll kind of stick around to see if anything appears from it.
Okay. You see, coming from the darkness, you see a pair of slitted yellow eyes looking at you, kind of staring you down, and then they blink kind of sideways, like the membrane goes over them from left to right as opposed to top down. And you see emerging from the darkness and debris is a small, kind of tortoiseshell colored cat with scales on its forehead, going between its eyes. They're a like green black color, and then it's got scales on the tops of its paws and at like the base of its tail. And it comes padding over with a very chonky rat in its mouth. And it walks up to you, puts the rat down at your feet, and looks up and lightly swishes its tail.
Oh, so cute and gross. He just looks down and smiles and just, well, that's a mighty fine kill you've got there. Thank you very much, little hunter. Reach down and pet the kitty.
The cat enjoys getting pet, and it does the whole stretching out under your hand, and you feel the scales like they're rough. Like this is quite clearly an alley cat, so it's a bit dirtier and not as well kept as you would expect. But from your time in the city, they're fairly common. They're known as a geek machka. It's a little type of draconic radiation lineage cat coming from the Dragonlands / Eastern Marches that followed the Skiari tribes as they journeyed across the continent and eventually settled down here in the UFAS. And it's just it gives you a little slow blink after you're done petting it. It kind of pushes the rat closer to you.
Oh, he picks up the rat. He doesn't care that it's gross. He picks it up.
And the cat will rub against your legs and lick the side of your leg a few times, and then starts padding back into the alley.
Oh, so cute. Now I guess I have this rat.
Now you have a dead rat. What do you want to do with
now I have a dead rat on my person.
you gonna store it?
I will definitely find some discreet place to discard that before going into a nice restaurant establishment.
Excellent. So you dump your dirty fucking street rat into a trash can.
Yeah, I'll leave it for a different cat to find later.
You see another cat is like following in your wake. This one is a calico, and once you dump it into the trash can, the cat will leap up onto the trash can, give you a nod, and then goes in to get the rat.
There we go. Waste not.
The circle of rats.
Circle of rats.
And yeah, with that you get to the Sarcanicos. It's it's nighttime now. It's probably about 7 p.m. It's a lot more subdued. It seems like most of Lazlo's crew is out doing nighttime patrols, preparing for potential defensive actions, etc. Inside the bar, that dragonborn priestess is gone. Andras, your trusty Goliath, is sitting at a table where he is currently polishing and cleaning his very large, beloved great hammer. And he gives you a very shy, but kind of awkward kind of snaggletooth grin, like smile as you come in.
Oh gosh, he's too cute. It's not fair.
And you smell like a lot of very hearty spices, like chilies and paprika and garlic and onion, coming from the kitchen. Um, one of Lazlo's lieutenants kind of looks at you and goes, "The boss is expecting you in the back."
Right. Thanks very much. I'll head on back then.
All right, you head on back to the kitchen area where you see that Lazlo is currently the only occupant of it. He's large. He's about an 8 foot tall. Full blooded orc. Very muscular. He's got his close cropped undercut slicked back. He's not wearing like all of his rings that he normally wears. He is wearing a fitted like very deep purple button-up shirt. The top couple buttons are undone, revealing a heavily scarred and tattooed chest, where you can see that there is partially a pair of tetrarchic circles with starbursts in them, as well as he has a gold tetrarchic holy symbol around his neck. With the buttons undone and the collar loose, you can see that he has a large tattoo of Gladius, the god Gladius, the god of survival, in the form of a horse archer where the bow is like pointed upwards with an arrow in it notched that is like going up his neck to like right below his jawline. He has black suspenders on, a pair of like slate gray slacks. His sleeves are rolled up, showing off more tattoos. These ones, there are more religious iconography, like kind of like a Virgin Mary of the goddess Aurora, holding a castle, or not a castle, a city in her like steepled fingers, in protection. As well as there's a whole bunch of graffiti kind of designs on him that seem to actually go over his scars. While the other like religious tattoos kind of do what normal skin does and scar over and break up the designs, the graffiti just kind of continues on like it exists in a way that his skin doesn't. It is immune to the effects of his skin. And you just see him like swishing at a wok kind of thing as there's a bunch of steaming, bubbling pots and pans around him. There's a table for two kind of put over in a special like kind of chef's dining area. And he kind of just will look over his shoulder as you come in and go, "Ah, Soleil, it is good to see you. Come, come. Do you want something to drink?"
I just want to say it is so rude of you to make an NPC so tailored to my interests and make them married and kind of evil. Oh man. All right, yes. Yeah, thank you. That been and you look like you got your hands full. Can I help you?
Ah, no, no. It is my calming outlet. I have learned very quickly that a man who does not know how to properly cook is no man at all.
Well, don't let me interrupt then. I can get myself something to drink. I don't want to mess with your flow.
Okay, but be sure to not tamper with your palate too much. I have got quite the bounty, and as well as you have to be sure to be able to pick up the wine appropriately.
All right, duly noted. So I'll grab a bottle of something that's open already.
Alright, this is his restaurant at his bar, so it's fully stocked with whatever you want to make yourself.
He mentioned like wine pairings. I think he'll gravitate towards that. He'll just kind of grab he's no sommelier by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he'll just pick something that quite frankly just looks nice, sounds nice, and pop it on the table for them, and pour himself a glass, also pour Lazlo a glass, probably admittedly in the wrong wine glass, but so it goes. He doesn't know any better. But
yeah, as you do that, you pour the glasses, and it's a nice Pinot Noir. It's nice light red to start it off with. And as you pour it into the wrong glass, Lazlo, is mixing, putting a top onto one of the pots as he takes like a taste of what it looks to be like a soup pot, and nods as he adds in some more garlic. And then he walks over, sees what you did, and he will take the glass out of your hand, pour it into the correct one, and hand it back to you.
My bad.
It is understandable you are not familiar with the proper way of doing these things, but now you have been corrected and can know better.
Of course. Won't happen again.
I would expect not. As he kind of gives you a wink and a smile, and you see, his various like gold and silver teeth and stuff amidst his the rings on his tusks and stuff. And as you sip, he finishes making the appetizers, and he puts down. You see that there is a plate of stuffed peppers. They're in this like rich tomato garlic onion sauce. Inside of them, it's a minced like ground beef and some bits of sausage in there as well, alongside some wild rice and some more onion and garlic, as well as cheese. And then next to that is a bowl of soup that is it looks to be a very creamy wild mushroom soup that has there's like a side small little dish of sour cream. And he puts that down in front of you guys. You see him as he sits down, he takes the sour cream and spoons it onto the soup. As he and there's also big loaves of cut like hearty white bread, and he looks at you as he takes a spoonful of soup, and he seems to be about to raise it to his lips as he's kind of like staring at you over the spoon to see what you're gonna do.
This is quite the spread, Lazlo. Thank you.
He smiles and puts the spoon down and goes, it is no inconvenience. I try every now and then. It is best to be able to make yourself something delicious. And normally I would do this for my family, but I have kept them both out of town intentionally for some time now until this is resolved. So you know what they say, that food is better when it is shared.
Wholeheartedly agree. And he'll take his spoon and take his first bite, kind of admittedly, you know what, rather than try to awkwardly maneuver the spoon under his mask, he is gonna tilt it up like just enough that like his jaw and like mouth is freely available.
Hey yo, phrasing?
Hey yo.
Describe what is Soleil's chin and mouth. We've never seen this. We've never seen this live in 4K.
No. So he's got like a very straight cut jawline, with like a little bit of a cleft chin, and there's a hint of patchy he's got stubble, but now I'm debating because his hair is white now. Did it turn his facial hair white too?
It's up to
Or
you.
is it still like kind of dark purple? I feel like it's still kind of darker. Maybe we're teetering on this premature salt and pepper vibe here.
Okay.
But yeah.
Before you can get the spoon to your lips, Lazlo reaches across the table and grabs your hand and forces your hand down to put the spoon back into the bowl. No, he's obviously not as strong as you, Soleil. You can resist him if you want.
No, he won't. He'll just kind of look at him like quizzically, like, what? Soup? What?
Make an insight check.
Oh, are we supposed to pray before dinner? 14.
Goddamn right you're supposed to pray before dinner.
Oh, my bad.
Lazlo was testing you by putting the spoon up to his own.
Oh, no!
As, he forces down as he puts his hands locks them in prayer. And
Soleil will mimic the motion. Look at her real sheepish. He should have known better.
And he goes, we give our thanks to the gods who have given us the wisdom and guidance to make it this far, and the resources to be able to enjoy this meal, and the opportunity to be able to share it in camaraderie company. We thank the gods for this blessing, and we are blessed in turn. And with that, he separates his hands. Now, you may.
Thank you. Clearly it's been a while since I've been back.
It is understandable that you would forget such vital things based on where you are from.
Yeah, we tend to do things a little different, or at least thank different sorts of people, but no matter where you're from, it's good to remember where the bounty comes from.
Exactly. We are blessed to be able to count another day on this great planet, and the gods ensure that these blessings keep coming, and that we will be rewarded both in this life and in the next.
Soleil will pick up his spoon, moving very slowly, looking at Lazlo expectantly.
He nods
and wait for him to take the first bite before he tucks in.
Yeah, Lazlo will take a bite of his soup and look at you and give you a nod. As he chuckles and says, "Did you know that I was going to be a priest?"
In a strange sort of way, I can kind of picture it, but pardon me for saying so, I don't think you'd be very good at it.
I would be taking that personally if I wasn't finding myself in the line of work that I currently am.
What made you change your mind?
Oh, would you believe a woman?
I would very much believe that, as a matter of fact.
Many do not know this, but I actually grew up in orphanage here.
Really?
Yeah, my father volunteered to join the Tyrolean army when they joined the Federation back during the Great Liberation Wars. He volunteered to fight for freedom against the tyrants in the Imperial League, and he served with great distinction, many accolades, and he did not get injured seriously in any way while fighting, but when the war ended, it turns out my father was better a better soldier than he was a man at peace. Or perhaps the war changed him. He could not handle the life that he found himself in, and he quickly lost his job in the refineries because he had to drown out the screams with the drink. And some days he would wake me up in the middle of the night holding a bayonet to me, screaming about the Avalonians coming at him, and my mother would have to hide all the knives in the house and make sure that he was appropriately disarmed, and I had to find my own way to survive for a while. But then one day, I was probably 8 years old when my father took my mother out for a night on the town, and they say it started off fine, and then he started having more to drink and more to drink, and one day, that night, he just careened them off into a light pole, and they say that my mother died instantly. They said that. They said my father, because of the drink, he was able to take the impact better, but he did not leave that crash site. And so, with my parents gone, I went to the orphanage for the rest of my childhood, and they were good people. The priestesses were very kind, stern but kind. But while I was there one day, there was this girl, and she came. She was new to the orphanage. A beautiful bear woman, and I was probably like 12 at this point, and some of the older boys said some very not nice things to her about her previous family, and I do not know what came over me, but I went to the biggest one, and I just about broke my fucking hand on his mouth. And shortly thereafter, blood splattering everywhere from his broken nose, and his friends pinned me down and started wailing and kicking on me until the priestesses were able to part us. But she saw, that was what really matters, is that she saw that she was not alone. But that night I also learned that there was things about me that were probably less appetizing to the faith than I maybe was willing to believe at the time.
I'm kind of surprised and a little bit honored that you'd tell me a story like that about yourself.
You know that I know what you are, and I have never had reason to lie to you, and therefore you cannot lie to me. And so I know, because you cannot lie, that I can trust you to a degree that, well, I would not trust others. Because I know that you are a man of your word by pact and by deed.
That's very true. I'm only sorry that it takes a literal pact that I cannot help for you to be able to trust someone so fully.
Oh, it is not simply that. I of course trust my wife with every fiber of my being. But in my line of work, well, I find that trust is a commodity that is often easily sold and not entirely worthwhile in exchange.
I'm glad that she and the girls are safely out of this, too.
Yeah. I've well, my oldest daughter, she's married now. She's up in Aurora, and the youngest girl, she is down in Lyon. So she's at university. I hope that she finds a nice person to settle down with, far away from here. But I will say I do miss Marta.
Yeah, I can imagine. I know how. I know you're crazy about her.
Yeah, that is very true. That night when I was in infirmary as teenager after that punch, I was in the same infirmary as the boy who made the comment. And he had his broken nose and I had my broken hand, but I did not quite be willing to let the matter lie where it was. So thankfully, this had not risen as a previous issue. So I found myself a pole that was used to hold up various medical thing. And I walked over while he was asleep and I started bashing into his fucking lying face over and over again. Teeth went everywhere and his eye bulged out. And as I did this, I re-broke my hand, of course, but that was nothing. And so I looked at him before he lost consciousness and I said, if you ever say anything about Marta out of that lying fucking mouth of yours, then this would be the least of your fucking worries.
I imagine that had a lasting impact.
Oh, it did. He never said anything really to anyone again.
I was about to say, I imagine he probably couldn't on account of his broken jaw.
Yes, it had to be wired shut for probably about 6 months, but, he learned an important lesson, and God, did I learn that I love doing that.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand why the church may have not been your particular brand of higher calling.
Yeah, but there are, of course, opportunities for people with inclinations such as mine, but I disliked the level of commitment that they required from their acolytes. They attempted to recruit me actually the next year because you get too old and you're no longer viable for their particular training methods. But I declined. They apparently did not like my attitude. He kind of chuckles.
Well, that's their loss, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's their loss in the city's gain, because frankly, the city is much better off under me than it ever was before.
I don't have too much to compare it to, but seeing what it is now, the absolute mess I made, and knowing what I know about you, I would like to see you in a much better place.
I appreciate that, Soleil. I appreciate that, and I know that you will achieve it. As you guys finish up your appetizers, and he comes out with with a big pot of goulash, this hearty stew, beef stew with potatoes, carrots, There's onion pieces in it as well as this, thick sauce, which is full of garlic, paprika, and onion. And he pours you glasses of Syrah, like a nice rich red wine to go with it. And he is very much the host, and he pours you the wine, puts everything out for you as he sits back down and goes, which raises question that I wanted some clarification from you about. Obviously, you know what is at stake here and what needs to be done, but your friends seem squeamish about the prospects of what is required of them.
Yeah, look, they're a really good crew to work with. They are effective. They get what's needed done. And he kind of shrugs a little bit. Problem is, how do I put this? They're also good people.
I think that the word you're looking for is naive.
Maybe a little bit. I don't think that they're not ignorant to what's expected of them. I don't think they're ignorant as to what this could take. I just know that before all other options run out, they'd rather find a alternative means.
He laughs and goes, I hate to have to burst your friend's bubble, but there are no alternative means at this point.
I'd have tried to explain that. I know that this kind of work, it's not what they envision for themselves. But they're here because I asked them. And even knowing what this would take, they came anyway. And that means a lot to me. Knowing that they'd see me probably at my worst. And they came anyway.
Then you were fortunate to have accumulated allies such as them. But know that at the end of the day, there are expectations from you as to what needs to be done. And while they owe me nothing, and if we succeed in this, I will ensure that all of them are compensated accordingly. At the end of the day, you are the one that I have the expectations for.
Of course. And by this point, you know how I work.
That
I'll
I
get
do. You are a good killer.
Yeah.
Don't let it get to you. At the end of the day, this is no different than a hunt. We are simply hunting our prey. And I'll be honest, as much as I enjoyed being at the very top of my power before this, I kind of like the feeling of having my back against the wall. And it gives great motivation for what you can inflict on others.
You missed the challenge, did you?
when you are on top of things and you break them over and over again, there is no mountain to climb to overcome. Here it is, they feel like they have a chance, and that is the greatest ecstasy, is when they have the look of hope in their eyes that they can achieve so much, and then you take it away from them and strip away everything they love and cared about and aspired to piece by piece. And you only have that opportunity when you are in the trenches.
Huh. I can't say I ever really considered that, but there's some truth to that. I mean, hunts are only as interesting as the beast you're pursuing. There's no glory in an easy kill.
Exactly. It is so much more enjoyable when your prey is something of distinction, strength, stature, and then you see it brought low before you and can display your triumph in front of its kin.
Wow. Here's to a glorious hunt then.
To a glorious hunt. Yes, you guys clink glasses together. Soleil, you have a very distinctive vibe right now, based on your background. You're Fae. You grew up in the Fae wilds, surrounded by other Fae. And at the end of the day, Fae are creatures of their nature. They cannot act in a way different than what they were created to be. It's utterly alien to them. And there is a degree of innocence that comes with that, even when a Fae is at its most cruel. It's still a very kind of limited, childish scope to it, because it's more of an instinct to them than it is something of conscious thought. Lazlo is a person. He is a mortal person who has chosen to to embrace these aspects. There is no innocence here. There is no naivete. This is a person who relishes in the prospect of what they do to others. And it gives you an interesting perspective, because at the same time, you grew up with a mortal. Your father was mortal. And it's in this moment you have a very genuine feeling that maybe you're not as true Fae as you have always believed about yourself, because there is a degree to this that embodies the distinctness of your father taken to the most extreme degree.
Yeah, he's particularly after Lazlo's story of his childhood and thinking about his father, the warrior, and how it affected him. Granted, his own father reacted to the violence very differently, but just thinking about how him and their two fathers were fighters. These two men here at the table now are fighters, and it's just his nature to be so, as it is with Lazlo's. But then what does that mean for the people afterwards that they will encounter, and so on and so forth? I think for the first time he's ever really thought like that. He's never considered ramifications to that degree before.
Gotcha. Yeah, there is definitely a sense of this, in its own way, is kind of a plague. Uh, Lazlo, God only knows the effect Lazlo has had on others. God only knows the effect Lazlo's had on his own family. And it's a very interesting thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
um, so, with that, you guys finish your meal. Lazlo stands up and clears your bowl and uh, cleans away the glasses and everything as he pours a pair of glasses of brandy to finish the night. Um, and he just engages in just some idle chat with you, which just seems like such an interesting like transition from him talking about how he enjoyed beating that child's face in when he was a kid because the guy said something mean about his future wife and how he is thrilled at the prospect of the killing and violence and suffering that he will be able to inflict during this gang war that he would not have if he was still 100% on top.
Mm-hmm. I think just one last thing that Soleil would mention to Lazlo as they're having their nightcap is he'd sort of lean back in his chair and just, my father was also a warrior. And he said that balance your mind, you had to find something to ground you. And he was a fighter, for sure. Deadly. Brutal, if he needed to be. He was also an artist. That was his grounding. And my friend, and he points to the collection of, dishes now cleaned up in the kitchen. I could taste the artistry in that.
He smiles and goes, I, I will take that as high praise, Soleil.
It is. And I'm no one to be preaching to the preacher. But when all this is done, I hope that you'll have plenty more time to cook for other people.
Kind of switches his glass a little bit and goes, I think I'd like that. As he just takes a sip. And with that, unless you have anything else you want to say or do with Lazlo.
No, I think I'm good there.
Okay. As you finally leave, as Lazlo's just washing dishes and stuff, you exit the back, and Andras comes up to you. Soleil, it's good to see you here again.
That it is. You've been waiting here this whole time?
Yeah, I was cleaning my hammer, but I thought that perhaps we could catch up. As he's kind of like looking at his feet, fiddling with his hands.
He'll take one of his hands and give him a little. Sorry to keep you waiting, baby. I'm all done with business now.
He gives you a big grin and kisses the forehead of your mask as he just smiles down at you and goes, I really missed you, and I would like perhaps we could talk about this someplace else.
I would like that very much. I missed you too.
And he gives such like a big grin and blushes and stuff as he walks out, picks up his massive great hammer and slings it over his back. And he walks out with you to go to his apartment.
Sounds like a plan.
And with that, we conclude the Soleil portion of the evening. And Aurora.
Uh-huh.
So there you are, nestled
There
between
I
two
am.
ladies.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? As you dream away the evening.
Yeah, I imagine in this moment she is feeling, more calm than she was earlier, but it's impossible to be fully relaxed considering everything that's happened in this singular day. And while like personal life may be feeling a bit better, there's the one thing that keeps entering her mind is the pact and Nethrys and everything like that. So when she's kind of going to sleep, she's just thinking about specifically the realization that likely it is her painting that causes her to lose memory, and just she can't shake it as she eventually falls asleep, probably much later than anyone else.
Okay, gotcha. Um, as you muse on this, going to sleep, um, you find yourself in the void space that sometimes enters your dreams, and you see Nethrys congeal from the shadows in front of you.
There you are.
You seemed like you needed me.
I'm I I did. I Well, I'm not used to this, but you've never really shown much in the way of emotion, but just earlier this morning, you seemed real genuinely mad at me.
You chose to ambush me after all we've shared together.
Oh, it wasn't an ambush. If you could have said that it wasn't okay.
Could I have? What if Soleil had advised you that I was being evasive?
Nethrys, I was scared. I've I've forgotten a lot in just the last few weeks, it seems. And even further beyond that. And I had to be sure.
I think it says a lot about what you've forgotten, that it was only within the last few weeks that you realized how long ago many of these things had been forgotten. It's how little that they mattered.
Well, how am I supposed to realize or even figure out how much they matter if I can't even think about them in the first place? I don't know what happened between me and my fiance, but I mean, she seemed so awfully mad at me, and that's not a feeling you would have if there was never anything there that mattered.
You hurt her.
I suppose I did. I seem to be very good at that. Nethrys, listen. I don't plan on having everybody there to witness our conversations like that.
Good.
I mean, I don't appreciate that very much. Let me
Oh,
finish at the very least.
continue.
I thought that coming here alone would be a bit of an expression of my intentions. But you're still... I mean, you're still upset. Very clearly. I didn't even know you could be upset.
Aurora, make an insight check. This is for yourself.
Okay. The 13.
You are, in this moment, you are a bit self-aware of the fact Nethrys is behaving very similarly to how you behaved to Soleil this night when he went to go see Andras.
Listen, I know I can be a bitch. And I'm sorry. I'm really trying to work on bettering myself since apparently I've hurt so many people and abandoned so many people. But the only way that we can get past this is if we actually work together. And I don't know if the Raven Queen is currently watching me and could be coming to collect her due and take me away and even just, like, kill me. That could... I don't know what the terms are. I don't know what happens when I break a pact. If I break the pact. If I have broken the pact. I don't know.
You haven't broken the pact, and you shouldn't break the pact.
I mean, I'm gathering that I lose the memories of whatever I draw. Is that correct, or do you not know?
You already know the terms of your pact. I cannot opine about them.
Right.
I am not your enemy, Aurora. I have stood by you through thick and thin for years. I have protected you.
I know. I know. Excuse me for getting scared. That's something us mortals do when we're scared. We get defensive, we get cagey, we get easily upset.
I'm only trying to help you, Aurora. I'm only trying to keep you safe.
Right now, who are you keeping me safe from?
This world. The thing that is trying to hurt you. The thing that is trying to take you away from us. And I don't want that to happen.
I don't want to die either. I don't want to stop living, especially when I got so much left to do.
Then let me help you, Aurora.
You don't want me to talk to others about this.
I can't stop you from doing anything, Aurora.
Hey, she's gonna kind of walk closer until she's just a few feet away and just kind of look up at Nethrys.
Nethrys looks down at you.
I certainly haven't forgotten everything that you've done for me, okay?
I'm not your enemy.
I'm so scared. This whole thing is just so messy. And when I pick up my brush and I start to paint, now knowing that anything that I do will soon be gone from my mind, it just fills me with a sense of fear. It's everlasting fear. And this has always been what I wanted to do with my life. I've always wanted to be a painter. That's why I signed this deal. But if what I love is gonna hurt me, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You wanna help me? Help me figure that shit out.
You have a gift, Aurora. You should continue to share it with the world. There will always be new memories.
But I don't want to forget the old ones. I don't want to forget any of these people. I don't want to forget you.
You'll never forget me. I always will be with you.
Well, that's why I want to be with the others too, because I don't want to forget them. I need people to remind me of what I care about. Because I never know when it's going to be gone. Listen, I know you're a Fae. And I know that complicates things a lot. Are things going to be okay?
I cannot predict the future, but I know that as long as we're together, we will be able to overcome great things.
Yeah. I don't want you to hold this against anyone else, okay? It was my mistake. It was my choice. And listen, Soleil's a fucking dumbass. But I do trust him to have good advice on Fae things. So don't go saying bad things about him.
Don't let your trust of him blind you to what we share and what we have together.
What do we share?
We share life, experience. We share adventures. I'm your shadow. I will always be with you. And
He reaches. Oh, go ahead. You finish first.
And even when all of those things fade away, we will still have each other.
She walks a little closer and holds Nethrys into a hug.
Nethrys returns the hug, and there is a little more enthusiasm than usual from Nethrys.
I don't want us to be mad at each other, okay? I remember when we were on the road together. We were alone. It was often times that I saw your eyes just peering through the darkness, and that's just what helped keep me grounded. And lately I feel like they've been scaring me a little. And I'm sorry. I want to go back to the times when it comforted me.
Then let us begin tonight.
She'll nod softly, picking up the pace of it a little bit. Yeah. You're my best friend, right?
And you're my purpose. As she holds you.
Aurora looks up at her while holding the embrace, and just kind of, you can see there's a little bit of tears in her eyes. Can I insight check her?
Sure.
It's simply the hug. Having a bit more emotions. She's trying to figure this out. It's an 11. It's not very good.
No, it's hard to pin down. You can, at least because of your previous thing, you can deduce that apparently you have some influence on Nethrys, or Nethrys is able to mirror you in some way for some reason. But deeper than that is just too hard to gather just because of how stoic she is.
Fair enough. Then they'll just hold the hug for a little bit and just say, "Do you want me to stay here until we wake up?"
Yes.
I'm right here then.
She will settle down and lay down next to you as you guys look into the twinkling stars of grayscaled stars that permeate the void around you. And time doesn't really flow here where perhaps it does in the waking world, but you do find it profoundly restful in a way for whenever you do wake up. there anything else you want with Nethrys?
No, I think she let it go there.
All right. As you settle in for that, everybody is promptly woken up by a series of gunfire and explosions coming from outside.
Wakes up from cuddling one girl to cuddling two girls.
This is getting out of hand. There's two of them now.
No, Babu, it's not morning.
That was gunfire.
Instead,
Oh.
walking. Shut up. Go sleep.
No.
That was definitely gunfire.
Most certainly
Oh.
gunfire.
We go beat up baddies now.
Yes, I believe something of that order.
Curses and Draconic.
You, Eva, Soleil, you too, from where you were staying with Andros, you hear just tons of gunfire and explosions, car tires screeching, the screams of people getting wounded and dying. You hear a lot of goblin amongst the melee outside.
He's up, immediately. Pretty light sleeper on account of not being able to dream, and I'm sorry, I gotta do it to y'all. Tries to gets up, wobbly legs for a moment, goes over to the runs over to the window.
Drip.
Oh my god!
Can we get a couple of quick con saving throws to see how well he's holding up?
How wobbly now? He's a veteran of this.
Yeah. You got that passive score.
Yeah, he could just take 10 on it like a rogue. What is it? Was it something talent or something?
Reliable talent.
Reliable talent. This is his unique feature.
Oh my god.
You could call that aspect of Soleil reliable, I guess.
Yeah, as you look out the window, you see that there is a lot of tracer fire going on outside between the Shrouded Assembly and you have dark vision, so you can see that there are a lot of goblinoids and Vanyaskins that are attacking, and people from both sides are being kind of killed and wounded in turn. It does seem like Lazlo was prepared for this offensive, so the element of surprise that they may have had otherwise was entirely spoiled. And you can see coming from Lazlo's restaurant, him walking outside, his pistol materializing in his hand, as you just see various attackers getting splattered against walls and the ground, turning into paint as their bodies dissolve, being consumed by the city itself. What do you guys do in this moment?
I think instinct kicks into overdrive for Soleil. He's waking up Andres, telling him to grab his hammer. Lazlo needs them. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. It's like he rolls over, his pelvis so bruised.
Drip.
As he kind of goes over and kind of hoists on some pants, still barefoot. Puts away his weapon, takes out his hammer.
Hey, yo.
He will go charging out behind Soleil. What are the ladies doing?
I imagine just taking a look out and seeing what's going on.
Do we have like a viewpoint, like a window, anything we can get our bearings?
Yeah, you guys have windows in the... I think you put shades over them the previous day.
I think so.
Yeah, you could creep open the shades. Those of you without dark vision... the street lights aren't really very effective currently in the city on account of all of the destruction and breakdown of public order. But there are lanterns that are kind of lit, like gas or electric lanterns that Lazlo has set up, and you definitely could see some like pre-established cars turn on their headlights. to cast illumination, and you see a lot of gunfire. You see like two burning like sedans that are like crashed into like the sides of buildings. As you see a cybernetic human come like literally on fire, screaming, coming out of one of the cars as Lazlo's forces are setting up behind defensive positions and really taking a good accounting of themselves against these attacking goblinoids and Vanyaskins.
I was gonna say, instead of going to the window, would it be okay if Nafisa went to go get Chi-Chi and Lunas and see what they're up to?
Yeah, it's right outside your guys's. You have to basically go to them to get a window.
Okay.
Chi-Chi is fully awake at this moment. You see the blanket has kind of been thrown off of her and like shrinks back down to a small box and starts like hopping back to Ludus. And Ludus, stretches out for a moment. You see like 6 pairs of wings sprout from his back before they crouch back and disappear into becoming his cloak. As he looks out, kind of rubbing his eye, quite sleepy, as just a stray bullet goes like right past him through a window. But yeah, Chi-Chi's gonna creep over by one of the windows, and she's not returning fire at all. She's kind of looking out, seeing what's going on.
I think I was thinking I'm going to order Nethrys to do something. So,
Okay.
but essentially, Aurora, just like surveying the scene, is just going to kind of nod and then quickly gesture to Nethrys, like, go and get down there, and just like in her incorporeal form. And Aurora's going to cast Pulse Wave
Okay.
with bludgeoning damage. So it's basically just going to be like you see her take her paintbrush out and just like draw just like a series of pillars that essentially just launch out of the earth, very earthbending. This is earthbending, and just ram into everybody in like it's a 30-foot cone, just
Okay.
like ram into them, knocking them back non-lethally.
Are you specifically targeting the attackers or Lazlo's people as well?
The attackers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll some damage for me.
Sure. 20.
Okay. So you're doing that. Feng-chen, what are you doing?
Let's see. Well, I don't have a ton of offensive ranged options here, other than, I guess, getting the firearm out.
As your hand turns into a pistol.
I mean, yeah, it does kind of be like that. How handled does it look?
Currently, Lazlo's side, especially with Aurora casting, is definitely getting a pretty decisive push forward. But it's not decided yet.
All right. Is there like some kind of cluster or grouping of them somewhere?
Sure.
All right. Is that within the range of a fairy fire chaff grenade?
Yeah, you can fairy fire a bunch of them.
Yeah, sure.
So you like
I'll
open
try
the
to
window.
do a fairy fire. Just sort of you hear of a little firework being shot out from her wrist, and yeah, I'll try and hit as many as I can with that.
Okay. So you see a bunch of people getting slammed down by the asphalt and concrete rising up and smashing into their stomachs and pushing them against various objects. And then another grouping of attackers just immediately lights up in what color do you want your fairy fire to be?
I think let's go with gold.
Okay. Just immediately lights up with gold. Once they're illuminated, you see that Lazlo's team immediately focuses in on that with concentrated fire. Nafisa, what do you want to do as this assault is happening?
Guys, this seems very, very, very like they're gonna die. I'm gonna do the helpful thing here. I'm going to cast Fog Cloud over the fairy lit people so that they're still, because I imagine the lights will shine through the fog somewhat, but then they can't see.
It would basically negate the fairy fire because that gives the advantage, you give disadvantage. They're just straight shooting.
I don't want to like send these guys to their death because Lazlo's crew is gonna just fucking kill them. The fools. I am going to wait, in response to the fairy fire, are some of them like they're like backing up trying to get to cover and stuff?
Yeah,
Like
they're trying. Once they are starting to move and stuff, since they're glowing gold, they're pretty easy to sight in on.
I want to cast Fog Cloud directly between Lazlo's men and the attackers.
Okay.
And Nafisa is going to shout out, "Hey, that can last for like an hour, but I'm going to drop it in like 6 seconds. So if you want to run, you should run, because you're all glowy, and that makes you really easy to shoot."
Okay, so you drop down the fog cloud and you hear lots of like what the fucks from Lazlo's people. Soleil, how lethal are you being as you descend? Are you gonna wolf out?
Probably.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so you wolf out next to Andras, who's absolutely ecstatic fighting back to back with you, smashing through the attackers. Nafisa is able to cause enough distraction that probably about half of the gold glowing people are able to get out into like behind cover and stuff. But between the pulse wave, the fairy fire, Soleil and Andras waiting in, Lazlo, directing everyone accordingly. It's now very abundantly clear at this point this assault is entirely collapsing, and people are trying to flee to the best of their ability. So what seems like it's only a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds happens in this particular part of the engagement, but you continue to hear the staccato of gunfire and explosions happening like other parts of like the city, the distance and stuff. And the Lazlo and his team are gathering up any survivors. And Nafisa, actually everybody in the building, fucking everybody, make perception checks.
Okay.
5. Not 1, baby.
3.
I got blood in my eyes.
what?
I can't see shit.
There we go.
Nafisa, you see as they're cleaning up the survivors, Lazlo does look directly up at you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He's gonna wave.
I think Dad is mad.
I vouched for you.
Yeah, you did, and I did a good job. See, the fighting ended.
Lazlo, as you wave at him, he takes one of the survivors and just executes him in front of you as he stares at you.
Oh, God.
Executed like the school of the Americas.
And then he walks away to go continue directing his forces. The rest of the action continues if you guys want to continue to actively engage with it or not.
I think. What is Soleil doing?
He knows his job right now. He's on cleanup duty.
Okay. I think seeing Soleil still move forward would at least follow him a little bit to the best of her abilities.
Okay.
How far are we from getting a long rest?
It's this will not impede your getting a long rest.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll cautiously follow along too.
Okay. What do you say, cleaning up Soleil? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, taking care of the stragglers.
Okay. Yeah, you guys see Soleil hunting down some of the hiding or retreating people, and he's wolfing out.
Yep.
We can tell
Nafisa.
these are the Vanyaskin and like the
Yep,
song.
these are
and the
Vanyaskin
Circle of
and
Thorns.
most likely Clan Song. You don't know
Okay.
Clan Song intimate. Well, you were the one who rolled the nat 20 on the knowledge about the politics going on here, so you can immediately identify Clan Song enforcers and stuff. Were the assaulting force was Clan Song and the Circle of Thorns.
What if I cast Thaumaturgy, make my voice boom, and say some shit like, the Dmitry Kolozov or Shinyon Vosong is under attack. Retreat. I don't know.
Do you think you have the deception score for that?
Oh, I don't.
You have thaumaturgy to use if you want to use it. You get advantage on whatever you're doing.
I can't believe I don't have this in my notes. There are cops. All the guards are in like the higher
yeah.
up areas, right?
Yeah,
like,
there is no like meaningful law enforcement in the main city anymore.
Holy shit. Yeah, I'm sorry, Obs. I got nothing right now. I cannot think of a way, especially after seeing what she just saw. I don't think Nafisa would do anything besides watch her party.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the Aurora and Feng, Soleil is removing the stragglers. Is there anything you guys want to do as you follow Soleil? Nafisa seems to be in shock.
Yes, this doesn't feel great, but I do not really have much alternative ideas, do you?
I mean, they were going to kill us.
Mm.
I tried to be non-lethal, but I think I'm learning pretty quick how they handle things around here.
Mm.
I still don't want to just kill people, but she'll actually walk over to Lazlo.
Okay.
And just be like, is there anything else you need from us?
Lazlo's currently like shirtless, just wearing like a pair of house pants.
Sheesh.
He got that Slavic tracksuit on.
He does not have his He didn't have time to put on his Adidas tracksuit.
This is important for Meris. Does he have a happy trail?
You're asking the correct questions.
Yes,
it's a very
he does.
Unhappy trail.
He has that.
I got you.
He has that orc black happy trail going down below the pant line,
Punching the air.
Most
Too
of
busy killing people to notice.
Yeah, most of his chest is covered in tattoos, various graffiti things, as well as religious iconography. But he's very like Danny Trejo with the sheer number of tattoos he has. But he does have a distinct happy trail.
Right.
Lazlo looks and goes, "You." Actually, he's gonna look at Nafisa and go, "I think you have helped enough." If it was one of you who cast the golden light or made the concrete hit them, then you're doing well. I am pleased with what you have done so far.
She'll bring Nethrys back to her side and just say, right.
And you'll just, continue going back to commanding people. And Soleil, you eventually run out of prey. You feel if you go any further, you're probably gonna start heading into Clan Song territory, which you would be fairly alone, minus Andras. So what does Wolf Soleil feel like?
I think, scanning the nearby vicinity, finding no one else immediately around and running from him feels the thrill of the hunt start to dissipate. And coming back to himself. Andras is here with me still?
If you want me to be. If you could have outran him if you wanted, because you're a fast little wolfo.
True. I was just gonna say, look to Andras, see if he's fighting anybody. Very likely not. And we'll start to backtrack to Lazlo.
Okay. Are you gonna still be in wolf form as you skulk back?
I think by the time, just in case anything else surprises him on the way back, he would keep it up. But once there, he would.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you're able to get back. It's probably about an hour total of all of this going on as the gunfire begins to die out. You do hear very large explosions in the far distance. Obviously out of Lazlo's territory, but it does seem like this was a night of extreme action.
I think also real quick, seeing the party here on ground level, he would immediately go up to them. Everyone okay? Y'all okay?
Is he still wolfed at this moment?
No, he's dropped it.
Yeah,
physically, yes.
Yeah, it was surprising, but I mean, at least for the first part, we did what we could, I think.
Sorry, I wasn't. I'm glad you're okay.
Likewise. Why is your friend walking so funny?
Yeah, can I insight check? Is this the one good thing Nafisa's gonna get tonight?
Okay, make an insight check.
Give her this much at least.
He walks like it's big.
He does not know what sex is.
He doesn't have a belt on. It's probably why.
Come on. Yes. 30-20.
Oh my god.
I'm not rolling for this.
Aurora would know.
He is. Yeah. He was probably had a point of exhaustion before going into this fight.
Oh no.
Do you need anything, Soleil? I've got a few potions here if you need them.
He looks down at himself and kind of takes in the gore that is on him. He only just noticed that he looked like this, and just kind of shakes his head. No, I'm okay. It's not mine.
Some comfort, I suppose. And she'll just hand one to him and say, "Can you take this with you in the future, though?"
If it'll make you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I kept him very safe. Andros says from behind, and it kind of claps Soleil on the back.
That you did. Although I had you, I had you quite a few paces behind me, though. You got to keep up.
You are very fast. It is hard to catch up with. But I know that in the end I will always be able to find you. Because you slow down when you have to kill.
That's that is true. It's true.
He kind of does a big hearty laugh and goes, "We have done well tonight." As he looks at the bodies being carted away and the wounded being dragged off to be processed in some way, shape, or form.
Awfully bold of them to attack us like this.
It is foolish, but perhaps that they, for some reason, they thought that they could outsmart Lazlo, which of course is failing endeavor.
I think that Lazlo's given off a bit more of the wounded dog act than they're expecting.
It takes one to know one, as he punches Soleil's arm. Andros is not the brain trust of this operation, but you know he's he's excited.
He's a good boy.
Yep.
Well, I think we're gonna head back. Maybe get some sleep. Kind of doubtful, but you're welcome to join us if you want.
He kind of looks between Aurora and Andres and approaches Andres and puts a hand on his arm and just, do you mind terribly if I kept an eye on the ladies?
He puts a hand on your hip as he looks down at you, and he's got his eyes suddenly became very large, and he goes, "Are you sure?"
Oh.
See, here's the thing, Andres. I know you can take care of yourself. You got no qualms bashing skulls in. But my friends here, well, they need me to do that.
He seems like he's about to say something, and he just stops and goes, "Yeah." And he kind of turns away and kind of moves his hand by his face for a moment as he turns around and goes, yes, you should protect your friends. They are too weak, obviously.
Oh, he's so deeply hurt. He didn't know you swung that way.
You know what? I'm really stupid. Can I insight to see if I can tell that he's genuinely, like, upset?
Sure, make an insight check.
The player knows this.
How about this? You have a situational disadvantage because you're a fuckboy.
Oh! That's a 7.
No. It must be all the gunpowder getting in his eyes.
Truly.
That fuckboy debuff, man. You're good with cats, but you suck with lovers.
Gotta get you with the tabaxi, then.
Kind of put a hand on Andre's back and just like, I knew you'd understand.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't turn his back to you. He just nods slowly and then just starts sulking away.
Well, I did a good thing today. Soleil will come back to the party. Yeah, let's head back.
All right, as you guys return inside, so Ludus is kind of look. He's been looking out the window and stuff, and he turns to see you guys return and goes, "It did not appear to be a very heroic engagement."
No,
No.
not particularly. They tried to sneak up on us.
Dastardly duplicity. What I would expect in such a scenario from such ne'er-do-wells.
Surprised you didn't join the fray.
It did not seem appropriate, given the fact that, while I understand your particular proclivities here, that your erstwhile allies seem to be a tad bit nefarious in their own ways. As he will
That
go
is-
over and he will put a arm around Nafisa's shoulder and pull her into him with a hug.
Aw. Aw?
That is that's quite true.
Is still kind of like mile long, yard long staring. She doesn't return the hug, but she kind of
Yeah.
like just lowers her head into his shoulder.
Mhm.
Hey, Obs, as an added detail, would that person? Could you describe the person that Lazlo executed?
Sure. Let me start off with odd or even.
You know what? Give me even.
Odd.
I always fail these.
It was a hobgoblin male, probably early 20s. He had no visible tattoos on him, so probably not a super bloodied warrior at all. Hair was pulled back into the fairly standard, like, goblinoid ponytail, but it was still fairly short. He hadn't grown it out long yet. He was using, and perhaps this was his own downfall, is that he appeared to have a long rifle with a bayonet on it that that was probably very good craftsmanship prior to it being smashed in half by Andros's hammer. You did see it did have the distinctive iconography of what was probably his Rodai for the bayonet part of it. And he was just wearing fairly like plain utilitarian, like black kind of factory overalls over a black like work shirt. People who would be more familiar, like Feng, would probably recognize this was definitely a factory worker, probably at one of the Nexite refineries, and who was a part of the Roshan Dai for whatever reason. And yeah, so it was probably just a fairly young hobgoblin, like kind of quote unquote civilian, who got picked up off the street after being concussed by Andros and then, encountered Lazlo.
Would it have been possible for Nafisa at some point to have picked up that part of the bayonet with the Rodai on it?
Sure. You could have taken
Okay.
his bayonet. Lazlo doesn't give a shit.
She'll take the part with the unique symbology on it, and also thank you for the description. That is going to be in Nafisa's mind, I think, forever.
Well, it's a good reminder because you see now painted on the street is a outline of his body in graffiti paint as the body was consumed by the city. Since Lazlo personally killed him.
Yeah, no, she is completely like just dead in Lunas's arms right now.
Yeah, and Lunas is just holding her, and he is a nuclear reactor of heat, and he's got a very, despite his armor and everything, he just feels very much kind of like Nyx. He feels like very organically stiff. as a body, which doesn't match with his appearance at all. And Nyx is going to come over at your feet and kind of put her claw on your leg as she nuzzles against you.
Nafisa will just accept that until the party says it's bedtime.
Feng was originally going to let Soleil know that they've unionized, but I feel like that can wait now.
that can wait until breakfast. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I feel like as a group, we probably just are like pivoting from the triage care of Aurora to likewise for Nafisa.
Lunas will lead her into the bedroom and stuff to lay her down.
Yeah, she definitely would have, like, if he's doing that, she would have, like, wrapped herself around him to be, like, carried.
Yep, he will swoop her off her feet and princess carry her in.
Yep.
I think Soleil is going to stay by the door.
Okay.
Keep an eye on things.
I think Aurora would probably walk up to him and just be like, I don't know how deep into it you were, but I don't think Lazlo is very happy with us.
No? What? Wow, what happened?
Well, I mean, you saw some of my magic. You saw some of Feng's magic.
Uh-huh.
Well, Nafisa tried to help the stragglers get away.
Yeah, I reckon he's not going to be too pleased about that.
Right. And just... That was a lot. I mean, I knew violence would be necessary, but such total annihilation is a bit more than I thought.
He looks at Aurora, and there's a kind of sharpness to the glowing eyes behind the mask. Like, they look, for lack of a better word, just, like, fired up. Like, there's a part of him intrinsically that's excited. And he just shakes his head and goes, Aurora, you ain't seen nothing yet.
She glances to the side a little bit and just... I'm a little... I mean, you're right. I'm sure I haven't. I feel like I'm becoming very intimate with death very quickly. I saw it a lot in my homeland. Coffin's coming back, but never this close. So, I know you're numb to it. But we still got a bit of time to go before we get to that point.
You don't have to be numb. Numb is probably the worst state to be in about this. But I vouched for y'all. And I know that you wouldn't be here unless I asked you to be. I just hope I didn't make another mistake.
It's like we care about you. I care about you.
Yeah, but at what cost? I mean, look at Nafisa. She's all kinds of fucked up right now. And we haven't even started yet. And I'll have to live with that. To live with that forever.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I know I'll be fine. I'll be okay. I just don't know if you all will be.
We'll get there. Just bear with us. You know we're doing our best.
I know.
And I know Lazlo's probably going to have some choice words. Yeah, maybe we did let him down. But I don't think it's such a dishonorable thing.
No, but honor doesn't count for much here. And I think I worry about what would happen to y'all if I hadn't vouched for you. Nafisa may think she's helping people, but she's gonna kill herself if she tries a stunt like that again.
No. I suppose all we can do is try our best. I mean, we're three folks. I don't think any one of us have killed a person. It's not easy to just change that.
I hope you don't have to.
How are we supposed to do this if we don't?
That's what you got me for.
But you shouldn't have to bear that all yourself.
If it means that people like you and Feng and Nafisa don't have to be put in situations like that anymore, I'd say it's well worth it.
All right. You check in on her eventually. I'm gonna try and get some more sleep.
You go ahead. I got my eye on you.
Missed you last night.
Cold?
No, actually. I had plenty of warmth.
That's good.
Do on that note, is there anything else you guys want to say to each other before bed?
I don't think I know particularly good words for Nafisa right now, so I'm just there. I think that's what I can do.
Okay. Lunas, his pet mimic, will bounce out, and he looks down at Nafisa, and it forms a little blanket on her. The blanket is not as all encompassing as it was on Chi-Chi, because Chi-Chi was much smaller. But Lunas would kind of settle her in, give her the blanket, and head out of the room with Soleil, I guess. Soleil, do you want to be on the inside of the room by the door or the outside of the room by the door?
I think inside of the room, by the door.
Okay. So you'll be there, and Ludus will go be outside of it. And with that, I think this is probably a pretty appropriate place to end the night. It's a lot heavier of an ending than I expected.
Yeah.
Nafisa, is there any final things you want as you lay in bed with your friends?
He looks back in the eyes of like Aurora and Feng at Nyx. She appreciates what Lunas did. I imagine she had a look of concern, and like as she tries to focus on her friends' faces, all she can do is just think back to that moment where she happily waved at Lazlo, and it immediately cut to the expression of somebody dying in his hands as a result of her actions. And she is just going to let that stew and drift in and out of sleep all night.
All right. With that, one night comes to a close on fiery notes and broken aspirations. But tomorrow is a new day with new opportunities. Will they be to suffer, or will they be to triumph? That remains to be seen. And you'll have to find out next time on Nexus, Forlorn Legacy. Thank you guys for coming tonight. I know it got real heavy at the end.
We're heroes, I promise. We're good guys.
It's going to be so jarring going from this to the, like, our job is to show up this one asshole from art school.
Man, I an art gallery now.
All of you with your fucking Vietnam 1,000-yard stairs as you're going through this art gallery. But yeah, if you haven't done so already, please go check out all of these wonderful players. They're all great streamers and content creators of their own right. All of them have a D&D or RPG game of their own where you can see them run the show and break other people as opposed to me breaking them. You can also give me a follow here on Twitch. You can give me a sub over on YouTube where you have every episode of the campaign as well as all my other VODs. You can follow me on Blue Sky, and you can join my Discord, the Eternal Citadel, and be a part of my incredible community. I want you all to know you're all beautiful, amazing, and valid people, and I hope you enjoyed spending your evening with us nearly as much as we enjoyed spending it with you. And never forget the most important part, which is that the world is better having you in it. That'll be it for the week. I don't have any other plans for streams. You know, if they do pop up, it'll be something entirely unrelated. We're probably going to take next week off because I have a busy weekend and stuff ahead of me. But we'll be hopefully back in 2 weeks for the next phase of this gang war. So with that in mind, let us go. We're going to raid before they accidentally raid us again as we raided somebody else. We're going to raid my boy Zom. They're doing a Legend of Zelda D&D campaign that's been going on for a long time. And they are good beans. If you are a follower, please copy down the call to hugs. If you're a sub, please copy down the Knights command. Yeah, they're on episode 70 of their campaign. Goddamn.
Jeez.
Sheesh.
So let's
Guys, we finished a campaign.
We did 65 episodes. We finished it.
Oh, so close.
Come on, guys, let's shoot for 69 this time.
Hey, yo.
Nice.
Well, we're at
At
30.
very
We're
least,
nowhere
we'll
near
have to
the
do
end. So
7.
let's go send them some love. Have a wonderful night, everybody, and the sweetest of dreams. Bye.
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 Bye.